A O'Brien Books production of Beefcakes, a short story about a boy who is too big for school but has an even bigger soul, written from the first-person perspective through the eyes of Beefcakes. I'm Beefcakes. That's what everyone calls me. I'm big, real big, but I'm okay with that. Most days, anyway. The hallways at Jefferson High are always crowded, but somehow there's always room for me. People move aside when they see me coming. I try to make myself smaller, hunching my shoulders and keeping my eyes on the floor. It doesn't work. I'm still huge. "Watch it, Beefcakes," someone shouts as I accidentally bump into them. I mumble an apology, but they're already gone, swallowed up by the sea of students. I reach my locker and start working on the combination. My fingers are thick and it takes me a few tries to get it right. I can hear snickering behind me. I pretend not to notice. Sometimes being big is hard, I think to myself. People think I'm dumb. I'm not. I just think slow. I grab my books for first period and shut my locker. The bang echoes in the hallway, and a few nearby students jump. I wince. I didn't mean to slam it. "Sorry," I say, but no one's listening. The bell rings and I make my way to Mr. Johnson's English class. The desks are too small for me as usual. I squeeze in, feeling the familiar pinch of the metal against my sides. The girl next to me scoots her desk away a little. I pretend not to notice that too. Mr. Johnson starts the lesson on To Kill a Mockingbird. I like this book. It's about being kind and standing up for what's right. I listen carefully, trying to absorb every word. Maybe if I do well on the next test, people will see I'm more than just my size. "Beefcakes," Mr. Johnson calls out. "Can you tell us what Atticus means when he says, 'You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view'?" I take a deep breath. My heart is pounding. Everyone's looking at me. "I think," I start slowly, "he means we should try to understand how other people feel. To be kind." Mr. Johnson smiles. "Very good, Beefcakes. That's exactly right." I feel a warmth in my chest. It's nice to get something right. The rest of the morning passes in a blur of classes and crowded hallways. Then it's lunchtime. I grab my tray and head to my usual spot in the corner of the cafeteria. I sit alone most days. It's easier that way. I'm halfway through my sandwich when I hear a commotion. I look up to see Jake, the school bully, picking on a freshman. Jake's not big like me, but he's mean. He's knocked the kid's tray to the floor and is laughing as the boy scrambles to pick up his spilled lunch. I want to help. I really do. But I'm scared. What if I make things worse? What if I hurt someone by accident? So I stay in my seat watching. I feel ashamed. The bell rings, signaling the end of lunch. I dump my tray and head to my next class, my stomach churning with guilt. I should have done something. The afternoon drags on. In gym class, we're playing basketball. I'm good at basketball. My size helps, and I can reach the hoop easily. But no one wants me on their team. They think I'll slow them down. "Beefcakes, you're with the shirts," coach says, pointing to a group of guys who look less than thrilled. I nod and join my team. The game starts, and I try my best to keep up. I manage to score a few baskets, but I also accidentally elbow someone while going for a rebound. The guy glares at me, rubbing his arm. "Sorry," I say. "I didn't mean to." He just shakes his head and moves away. After gym, I have my last class of the day, advanced biology. It's my favorite subject. I love learning about how things work, especially living things. Today, we're dissecting frogs. My lab partner, Sarah, is nice. She doesn't seem scared of me like some of the others. "Ready to do this, Beefcakes?" she asks with a smile. I nod, returning her smile. "Yeah, let's do it." We work well together. My big hands are surprisingly good at the delicate work of dissection. Sarah lets me do most of the cutting while she takes notes. By the end of class, we've finished our dissection and our lab report. "Great job, Beefcakes," Sarah says as we clean up. "We make a good team." I feel that warm feeling in my chest again. "Thanks, Sarah. You too." The final bell rings, and it's time to go home. I make my way through the crowded halls one last time, careful not to bump into anyone. As I reach the main entrance, I see Jake again. He's leaning against the wall, eyeing the passing students like a predator. Our eyes meet for a moment. Jake smirks and makes a mocking face, puffing out his cheeks and crossing his eyes. A couple of his friends laugh. I look away quickly, pushing through the doors and out into the sunshine. As I walk home, I think about my day. It wasn't all bad. Mr. Johnson praised me in English. Sarah said we made a good team in biology, but I also remember the kid Jake was bullying at lunch and how I didn't do anything to help. Tomorrow, I promise myself, tomorrow, I'll be braver. I reach my house and have to duck to get through the front door. Mom's in the kitchen, baking something that smells amazing. "How was school, honey?" she calls out. "It was okay," I reply. It's what I always say. I head to my room, dropping my backpack on the floor. My room is the only place where I don't feel too big. Everything here is sized for me. I flop onto my reinforced bed and stare at the ceiling. Tomorrow is another day. Maybe it'll be the day things change. Maybe it'll be the day I finally stand up to Jake. Maybe it'll be the day people see past my size and realize there's more to me. Maybe. But for now, I'm just Beefcakes. And that's okay. Most days, anyway. The next morning, I wake up early. The sun's barely peeking through my curtains. I stretch, my fingers brushing against the headboard. Another day at Jefferson High. I go through my morning routine, shower, dress, eat breakfast. Mom's made pancakes. They're good, but I'm distracted. Something feels different today, like maybe things are going to change. "You okay, sweetie?" Mom asks, noticing my silence. I nod. "Yeah, just thinking." She smiles, but I can see the worry in her eyes. She always worries about me. The walk to school is quiet, it's still early, and the streets are mostly empty. I like it this way. No stares, no whispers, just me and my thoughts. As I approach the school, I see a group of students gathered near the entrance. They're looking up at something. I follow their gaze and my heart stops. Jake, the bully, is on the roof. He's not supposed to be up there. Nobody is. It's dangerous. But there he is, walking along the edge like it's nothing. Showing off, probably. I push through the crowd, my size making it easy. Some kids grumble, but I barely notice. My eyes are fixed on Jake. He's wobbling now. His face, usually so smug, looks scared. Really scared. "Someone get a teacher," a girl shouts. But there's no time. Jake's foot slips. He's falling. I don't think. I just move. My legs pump hard as I run towards where Jake will land. My arms stretch out. I can do this. I have to do this. Jake hits me like a sack of potatoes. It knocks the wind out of me, and we both tumble to the ground. But he's safe. A little bruised, maybe, but safe. For a moment, everything's quiet. Then the crowd erupts in cheers and gasps. Jake looks at me, his eyes wide. He's shaking. You saved me," he stammers. I nod, still catching my breath. "Couldn't let you fall." Teachers are running towards us now. Mr. Johnson reaches us first. "Are you boys all right?" he asks, his voice filled with concern. I nod again. Jake does too, though he looks like he might be sick. The principal arrives, her face stern. "Jacob," she says, "my office, now." Jake stands up slowly. He looks at me one more time before following the principal. I can't read his expression. Mr. Johnson helps me up. "That was incredibly brave, Beefcakes," he says, "and incredibly dangerous. Are you sure you're okay?" "I'm okay," I say, and I am. My back hurts a little, but it's not bad. The bell rings, but nobody moves. They're all staring at me. It's uncomfortable, but different from usual. They're not staring because I'm big. They're staring because of what I did. Mr. Johnson clears his throat. "All right, everyone. Show's over. Get to class." The crowd disperses slowly, many still glancing back at me. I hear whispers, but they're not the usual kind. "Did you see that? He just caught him. That was amazing." I feel my cheeks getting hot. I'm not used to this kind of attention. The rest of the morning is weird. In class, people keep looking at me, but not like before. Some even smile. A few say, "Good job," as they pass my desk. At lunch, I head to my usual corner spot. But before I can sit down, I hear someone call my name. "Beefcakes, hey Beefcakes." It's Sarah, my lab partner from biology. She's waving me over to her table. I hesitate. Is this a trick? But Sarah's nice. She wouldn't do that. Slowly, I make my way over. Sarah's friends look up as I approach. I expect them to look scared or annoyed, but they're smiling. "That was so cool what you did this morning," one of them says. "Yeah, you're like a real-life superhero," another adds. I sit down carefully, worried the chair might break under my weight. It holds. "It wasn't that big a deal," I mumble. Sarah rolls her eyes. "Are you kidding? You saved Jake's life." Speaking of which, she nods towards the cafeteria entrance. Jake's just walked in. The room goes quiet. Jake looks around, his eyes landing on me. For a second, I think he might come over, but he just nods slightly, then heads to his usual table. "Wow," Sarah says. "I think that's the closest thing to a thank you anyone's ever gotten from Jake." The conversation moves on to other topics. Classes, weekend plans, movies. They include me, asking my opinion, laughing at my jokes. It feels nice. As lunch ends, I realize I've barely touched my food. I've been too busy talking, too busy feeling, for the first time, like I belong. The afternoon passes in a blur. In gym class, both team captains try to pick me first. The coach has to flip a coin to decide. My team wins, and not just because of me. We work together, passing the ball, setting up shots. It's fun. In biology, Sarah and I are studying cell division. As we peer through our microscopes, she says, "You know, Beefcakes, you should join the science club. We could use someone with your skills." I look up, surprised. "Really?" She nods. "Definitely. Think about it, okay?" I promise her I will. As the final bell rings, I head to my locker. The hallway is crowded as usual, but it feels different. People aren't moving aside in fear. Some even say hi as they pass. I'm almost at the exit when I hear a voice behind me. "Hey, Beefcakes, wait up!" I turn around. It's Jake. He looks uncomfortable, shifting from foot to foot. "Look," he says, "about this morning." I wait, not sure what to expect. Jake takes a deep breath. "Thanks for saving me. I know I've been not nice to you, to a lot of people, but what you did, that was really something." I'm not sure what to say. "You're welcome," I manage. Jake nods. "Anyway, I just wanted to say that, and I'm sorry for everything." Before I can respond, he turns and walks away. I stand there for a moment, processing what just happened. It feels like the whole world has turned upside down in a single day. As I walk home, I think about everything that's changed, the way people looked at me, Sarah inviting me to her lunch table, Jake apologizing. For the first time in a long time, I walk with my head held high. I'm still big. I'm still Beefcakes. But maybe that's not such a bad thing after all. I reach my house and duck through the front door. Mom's in the kitchen again. "How was school, honey?" she calls out. I smile. "It was good, Mom. Really good. And for once, I mean it." This has been a Yo Brian Books production of Beefcakes. I hope you enjoyed the story. Like, subscribe, and share the story with others. Hope to see you next time.